शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. So, we had the first introductory session wherein we had an introduction about the significance of temples, why should we even study temples, what's the main purpose behind it, and so on. Those who have missed attending the first session, I hope you would have listened to the recordings. So now, and we had just started with the first temple, that is Ahobilam. Ahobilam temple, which is famous for Lord Narasimha. So let's start. So Ahobilam temple, if you see, it is located in the Nandyal district of Andhra Pradesh, or you can also say in the Ahobilam as such in the Kurnool district. So like this, there are two places that are there, Kurnool and Ahobilam. Kurnool and Nandyal quite close to each other, I think at a distance of an hour or so. So there you have this temple, mainly about 9 temples in praise of Lord Narasimha. So this is how the temple looks. There are 9 specific different temples for Narasimha. And here is the main place wherein you have Vishnu in the form of Narasimha who has killed Hiranyakashipu. That is the main significance of this temple. Further, Ahobila temple, Ahobila Narasimha is how the Narasimha is called, wherein he sits in a chakrasana posture facing the east direction. So that's how the Lord is placed. And the consort, the goddess is Lakshmi. Now there are other shrines also, that is 9 different Narasimhas: Jwala Narasimha, Malola, Krodha, Karanja, Bhargava, Yogananda, Kshatavata, Pavana. All these names, even if you Google, you will get those names. And now, what is the significance of each of these Narasimhas? We will discuss later. And here you have Pratyaksham. What is Pratyaksham is Prahlada himself got the darshan of Narasimha here. That's why it is called Pratyaksham. Pratyaksham is he could see that in front of his eyes. He called Pratyaksha Darshana. Now, if you see this temple, mainly it has unlike 5 to 6 kilometers radius. In that you have this entire temple structure consisting of 9 shrines to Lord Narasimha. There is also a temple for Prahlada Varada, wherein in place of devotee Prahlada. So there is another shrine. And it seems that once, now there are different stories behind this temple. As we discussed last time, Garuda also wanted to come to this temple in order to have darshana of Narasimha. That is one significance. Another story is where the Lord killed the demon Hiranyakashipu and he saved Prahlada. Here Mahalakshmi is also have taken, or is also have is also said to have taken an avatara as Senju Lakshmi. Senju Lakshmi is another form of the goddess. And amongst, now why she gets this name Senju Lakshmi, you have an interesting concept here. Senju is actually you can say a community of hunters also. So that's how Senju Lakshmi. So she was born in that tribe of hunters, among the tribal hunters, and there she then married the Lord. So the Lord. So this is how is one story of the goddess marrying uh, the Lord after being born in the Senju tribal hunters, and that's how she gets this name of Senju Lakshmi. You have the Ahobala Matha Parampara also, which has been started as per the instructions of Lord Lakshmi Narasimha. So here in the Ahobila, if you see, Narasimha is never, or you can say in many places, he is not referred to alone. Just as Narasimha, it will always be Lakshmi Narasimha. Just as we have stotras like Lakshmi Narasimha Kalavaramba Stotram and so on. So always Lakshmi and Narasimha, they are associated together in many contexts. Now, what is the Sthala Puranam? Sthala Puranam is a story behind this place. Now we have reference of this Purana, of this Ahobilam in specific places like Kurma Purana, Padma Purana, Vishnu Purana, the Puranas which are significant or which talk a lot about Lord Vishnu. And here you also have the place is also called as Swayam Vyakta Kshetra. Swayam Vyakta Kshetra meaning Lord Narasimha himself has manifested him by his own. There is no creation that has been done. And here you also have a famous shloka in praise of Lord Narasimha or Ahobila. Ahobala. Ahaha Balaha, that how this name comes is what strength. Now Narasimha is known to have a very fierce form, right? So he's known for his physical strength a lot. So in order to regard the Lord, that's how he gets the name or as Ahobala, Ahobila, Ahobala, as we say. So that is one was got a lot of strength. So that's how the Lord was addressed, Ahobalaha, meaning oh, what strength you have, and that's how this place came to be known as Ahobilam. And there is also a famous, you can say, Sthala Puranas have shlokas, even for kshetras. So the famous shloka, few of us we had learned Kshetra Mahatmya shlokas, right? Together in that, if you remember, you had one shloka. अहो वीर्यमहो शौर्यम् अहो अहो बहुपराक्रमः नारसिंहं param दैवम् अहोबिलमहो balam. So here in this place of Ahobilam, you have Narasimha who has manifested himself, and he is known for his Viryam, Shauryam, Dhairyam, that is his strength and of his physical powers that are there. Then in this Kshetram of Ahobila, there is also a cave, it seems, and here Lord Garuda is said to have worshipped. He did penance, he did tapasya in place of the Lord, and that's how the place came to be known as Ahobila. Then here, the mountain or the cave in which Garuda he performed penance came to be known as Garudachala. Now, usually, if you see caves also, they will always be present in a hill, right? So, randomly, a cave doesn't come out of its own. It's basically a hill, and under that hill, you have a cave. So, the place where Garuda he did penance, that hill came to be known as Garudachala. And this entire place now, there is a significance behind this hill also. It seems that when it was Satya Yuga, that is only truth and dharma everywhere, it seems that near this cave of Ahobila, lot of heat was there. Heat is it used to be very hot, and suddenly what used to happen is or if there is a lot of heat, like say for example, dry regions like Rajasthan or places like that, we have something a phenomena called dust storms, right? That come there. So what exactly is a dust storm due to extreme heat? Or we also have this phenomena of forest fire. What exactly is that? Suddenly a fire erupts because there's a lot of heat in the nearby area. So the same thing used to happen here, and suddenly there will be smoke and fire that would be emitted. Near a lot of rishis also they used to live up. And thus what happens is in the Kali age, that is now. So when Satya and Dharma was there, that is in the Satya Yuga, still even if such fire and things came up, people could bear that. But then in the Kali age, like in today's times, whenever a natural calamity comes in, it becomes very difficult, right? Today we have so much of natural calamities and disasters coming upon Bharata Desha and the entire world, especially in the recent, if you see for the last 4 or 5 years or so, you have a lot of calamities coming in, and it becomes very difficult for people to survive and sustain in these times. That's when what happened is the sages who were living there, due to this continuous fires that were coming, they decided to leave this place and they started proceeding northwards. So from that time onwards, this place came to be known as Narasimha Kshetram. Like this, there were 9 places that were built, and these Navanarsimhas, you also call it as Navanarsimhas, all the rishis and the sages, it seems that they had installed these Navanarsimhas. Now, what are that? Now, these are different 9 forms of Narasimha. So about you can consider the distance about a few kilometers, maybe 2-3 kilometers from each these 9 Narasimhas are situated. So in all, if you see these 9 Narasimhas and other shrines, considering all of that together, it is about 12 shrines. So like if you want to visit this place like nicely, you need a day or so, and you can also halt at this place. People, if you wish to go to this place, or if anyone has gone, then like we cannot do it. Like sometimes we have this habit, right? When we do these temple visits, what do? Very quickly we go to 2 or 3 places. You just go take a darshana. So you tend to cover about 5-6 temples in a day. If you have to visit Ahobilam, at least you need a day also, or at least half a day, so that you can visit. And it depends on our the way depends on each one's physical capacity also. If there are youngsters also, maybe we can do it quite more quickly. So coming back, the first Narsimha who's there is Bhargava Narsimha Swami. Now the Bhargava Narsimha from now Ahobilam, if you see like Tirupati, you've got 2 hills. You have the lower Ahobilam and upper Ahobilam. So from the lower Ahobilam there is a pond, a temple pond nearby, that is called as Bhargava Tirtham, where Bhargava Rama Bhargava Rama he is said to have performed penance. Now, who exactly is Bhargavarama? Some references say that Bhargava is another name for Parshurama. So Parshurama is said to have performed penance. But there are also other references saying that no, this Bhargavarama is someone different and so on. Now, why there is so much of controversy here? Now, Bhargavarama is actually, or Rama Bhargava, common name is for Parshurama only. He basically belonged to the Bhargava Kula. That's how he, Bhargava Kula, dynasty, family. That's how he gets his name of Bhargava. But you see, these are all Sthala Puranas. Sthala Puranas, you have the mention somewhere, but like folk stories, folklores. So that's how it is said that Bhargava Rama, that is Parshurama, is said to have worshipped this Narsimha here. That's how this place is known as Bhargava Narsimha Temple. Next, you have the second temple, that is a Yogananda. Yogananda Narsimha, here it seems that Lord Narsimha, he taught a lot of yogic postures and so on to Prahlada after killing Hiranyakashipu. So a lot of yogic knowledge was given to Prahlada here by the Lord. That's how the Narsimha here is called Yogananda Narsimha, and that is the second temple, which is a Yogananda Narsimha Swami temple. Next is the Chhatravata Narsimha. Now, what exactly is a Chhatravata? It seems that it is about a distance of 3 kilometers from the lower Ahobila temple. Here, it seems the image of the deity, it is installed under a people tree. So you have a big people tree, Ashwatha Vrikshaha. Under that, you have this temple, and there are a lot of, you can say, bushes. And these bushes are quite thorny, a lot of thorns in them. So it becomes little difficult to access. But of course, nowadays you have proper pathways also to enter the temple. But because Chatravata, as you can say, thorny bushes also. So as a temple is surrounded by thorny bushes, the third Narsimha temple is called the Chatravata Narsimha temple. Now, next time, why I'm telling you all this in detail is next time if anyone makes a trip to Ahobilam, you must, when you go to these places, you should actually be able to visualize and witness, remember all these points that okay, why is this temple called Chatravarta? Or why is it called Yogananda? Someone felt like naming it so, the name is nice, so it has been named. It's not like that. There's a lot of significance behind everything that we see around. So whenever we visit such places, be it temples or anything, like say for example, we visit any place, right? We learn little, maybe you Google search or little historical information. We know if you're visiting some place, we try to search on our own. Okay, and then you go to that place, you can actually experience. Oh yes, I had read about this somewhere. The same thing I can see today. So the same logic should be applied even here. Whenever you go to these temples, shrines also, you should be able to know and visualize the story also. Next is the Ahobila, main Ahobila Narasimha Swami temple. It is in the upper Ahobilam. Now, lower Ahobilam and upper Ahobilam, if you see, they are actually hills. So it is from the lower Ahobilam, if you have to reach the upper Ahobilam, it is about 8 kilometers. The distance is 8 kilometers. That is the main temple, and you can say the first of all the 9 temples there. The Lord here is in the very fierce form, Ugra Narasimha, and he is the main Lord. He is also called as Ahobila Narasimha, and here it is the Swayambhu Narasimha. So nobody has created an idol, made an idol also. It has been manifested by itself. Next is Krodakara or Varaha Narasimha. On this temple, this Krodakara is the fifth Narasimha temple. From the upper Ahobilam, it is about a kilometer away. And here, the face of Narasimha has got the form of a Varaha, that is a boar. And here, the Lord is seen along with goddess Mahalakshmi. And Krodakara Varaha Narasimha temple. So, Krodakara Narasimha or Varaha Narasimha temple is the fifth Narasimha. Next is the sixth Narasimha is called the Karanja Narasimha Swami temple. Karanja Narasimha again is a kilometer away from Upper Ahobilam, and here Karanja Vriksham. Actually, it's a Karanja is the name of a tree. Now, what tree? I don't know whether it can be translated in English. I think you have these oils that are made from that. I'll see if there is a picture. I will show you. One second. Okay. I don't. One second. So you see, this is how the karanja tree looks. So having big leaves also, and then this is how the flower or the seeds that are there, they look somewhat this way you can consider. So basically you make all these oils, how we have those. what do you call those scented oils that are there, like lavender oil and so on. Some people use, right? So maybe you can consider something related to that family. And it is somewhat similar to the leaves. If you see, they are somewhat similar to the people tree, but it is actually exactly not a people tree. Somewhat similar to that. This is a karanja tree. It has a lot of, you can say, scented properties and so on. So medically, you can consider in Ayurveda Shastram, it would have been used, or even in the Shastram of making perfumes. Now, out of this, just for your information, in the 64 kalas, the different sciences and arts that are there, in that you have one science, or you can say one study, one branch of study, which is the science of making perfumes. Today, we have a few people who make these soaps and so on, right? Soap making classes and such things are done out of interest. Some of us we do learn that is even the science of making perfumes had also originated, let's not say maybe originated, but it also had its roots in Bharat Desha. So such plants were used for making perfumes and so on. These karanja or maybe lavender, such things that we use. Okay, so coming back, the fifth Narsimha who's there, sorry, the sixth Narsimha is a Karanja Narsimha temple. The image is mainly installed under this Karanja tree. Seventh Narsimha, about 2 kilometers from the upper Ahobilam, you have the famous shrine of Malola Narsimha. Now, here here, now Narsimha is a very fierce deity. Like you look at Narsimha also very fierce form, we feel afraid. But here he is in a Saumya Murti, we say. Saumya Murti meaning very graceful but very calm to look at. Here also he is seen with goddess Mahalakshmi. Malola, actually it's not Malola, Lola. Ma is another name for the goddess Lakshmi. Ma Lola, that is one who is very dear to the goddess. You can say beloved to goddess Mahalakshmi, Ma Lola. Okay. Then here it is said that even in the, so that's how this name comes, Malola Narsimha temple. Apart from that, there is one more significance in the Ahobila Mutt. Those who follow that tradition, you will know the first cheer of Ahobila Mutt till the current, I think the 44th pontiff or so. You have come and they worship the Utsava Murti. Utsava Murti is a Murti. Now every time when we have the Ratotsava, Puja, Abhisheka or so on, we don't do everything. The main idol cannot be taken out, right? For Brahmotsavam, Rathotsavam and so on. So you have the Utsava Murti of the Lord, which is taken and used for puja. So all these jeers of the Ahobila Mutt, they come and they worship. They are, when they are on religious tours, Vijayatra and so on, when they visit different villages, they come and they worship this Maloda Narsimha Swami Utsava Murti. So that is also one more significant event that takes place in this temple. Eighth temple is Jwala Narsimha. It is on a hill, it seems, and that the name of the hill is Achalachaya Meru. That is the name of this hill. It is about 4 kilometers from the upper Ahobilam, and this is basically the actual spot, it seems, where Lord Narasimha he tore Hiranyakashipu. So the stomach of Hiranyakashipu was torn at this place on top of this Achalachaya Meru. Next, the eighth, so Jwala, meaning Jwala, uh, very fierce form. Narsimha was burning with anger, it seems, at this spot. Next is Pavana Narsimha temple. It is on the banks of the river Pavana, about 6 kilometers from the upper Ahobila. Here it is, you also have Pavana Narsimha, because it is situated on the banks of the river Pavana. That's how the deity gets the name as Pavana Narsimha. Then with this, the nine temples, nine shrines in praise of Lord Narsimha end. Apart from this, you have few more shrines that are there, like I told you, the Prahalada Varada Sannidhi. Prahalada Varada, where blessings to Prahalada were given by the Lord. You also have different stambams. Stambam is a pillar, where that is called Ugra Stambam. Ugra Stambam, that's where through that Stambam. Now we all know, as per the Narsimha Avatara story, the Lord came out through a pillar. So that is a place, Ugra Stambam. That's a place where the fierce form of Narsimha came out. Next, you have something called the Prahalada Metu. Prahalada Metu, they call in the local language. That's actually a small shrine which is there in the cave. And here again, it is dedicated to Prahalada Narswami temple. Prahalada Narsimha. Here you have where Narsimha gave darshana to Prahalada. Small image of Prahalada is also there. Then around this place, there are a lot of holy tirthas, it seems. And what's the significance of this place is Lord Narasimha, after killing, that is tearing open the stomach of Hiranyakashipu, he washed his hands in this Tirtham, it seems. And even till date, it seems that the water is still reddish in this pond. I think that is called Rakta Kunda. That's how the name of the Kunda or the temple pond is also Raktaha, because it is the blood that was washed in this hand. Rakta Kunda. Okay. Till here, is everyone following? Yes? Okay. Now coming back to the lower Ahobilam that is there. Now lower Ahobilam is basically dedicated to Prahalada Varada, that is the Lord whose grace had fallen on Prahalada. Now lower Ahobilam, if you see a lot of the Vijayanagara, the way of architecture. Now what is this Vijayanagara way of architecture? Now when you go all throughout Bharata Desha, say you visit temples or any places, or even the way buildings are constructed, right? From city wise, there is a lot of difference that we see. Maybe if you go to say North India or so, you will have small gullies that go about here and there, right? Small gullies, small roads. In that you have lot of houses. Whereas you go to maybe uh, south now, central and south India, if you see, we don't have this concept of small gullies much. You will have it, but it's not that much, right? We have maybe individual houses or you have big roads that are there. Not lot of they'll not be very close houses sticking to one another and so on. Whereas North India has got those. That is the way of living. Or even north side, if you see, the temples will have black stone idols that are there. Sorry, white marble that is used for carving uh, the temple lords. Whereas South India will see more of black stone. Then even the way of temple architecture, if you see, South India has got a lot of tall gopurams. North India will have maybe white stone marbles and so on. So the way of construction differs from one place to another. So just by looking at the temple also, we can make out who has constructed it, the architecture. So like this Ahobilam temple, the lower Ahobila, has got a lot of significance of the Vijayanagara way of architecture. So the Vijayanagara kings from that empire have contributed a lot for building this temple. A lot of mandapas outside the temple. You have a shrine for Lord Venkateshwara, wherein it seems that Lord Venkateshwara, he got the blessings of Lord Narasimha before he married Padmavati. So that is also, that is actually, even today if you go there, that is named as a Kalyana Mandapa because Lord Venkateshwara, he had married Padmavati. So that's called the Kalyana Mandapa of Narasimha Swami. And you have Lakshmi Narasimha as the main deity there. And also for Andal, Alvars, and so on, you have other deities which are there. Now, if you see inside the Ahobila, be it the upper Ahobila or the lower Ahobila, it's a very common sight wherein on the different pillars you see the Lord Narasimha along with his consort Singu Lakshmi. Singu Lakshmi, some people say, some people also call it as Chenchu Lakshmi. So it's just the way we pronounce it. Then if you and you can in the pillars that are there, in one pillar it seems that you can actually see the Lord who's chasing Hiranyakashipu from one pillar to another and from another. So basically if you see Narsimha comes out of one temple, right? So one pillar, sorry, so you can actually see the Lord. The carvings have been done in such a way that you can feel as if Narsimha Avatara is taking place in front of you. Lord Narsimha is rushing from one pillar, he comes out and he runs behind Hiranyakashipu in order to tear him. So all such carvings are also made, and you have a lot of alvars and so on, and who have composed, who have written a lot of things in praise of Ahobila Mutt, in praise of Lord Narasimha. You get a lot of reference in Sangam literature. Then there is also a big Jayastambam. Stambam is a lot of pillars which has been erected by Krishna Devaraya also. So a lot of kings have contributed to this temple. You have the Vijayanagara kings, especially the Vijayanagara Empire kings have contributed a lot to in expanding the area, territory, the administration part, architecture, and a very beautiful place. The Jiyars also, the Ahobila Matha Jiyars. Jiyars are the acharyas of this Matha. They also have contributed a lot. And you have a lot of Utsava Murtis, 9 main temples in Ahobilam. So next time, whenever you go to Ahobilam, don't forget to visit Lower Ahobilam, Upper Ahobilam, and the 9 different temples that we saw. Also the Sannidhi for Prahalada, Ugrastamba, and so. Okay. So with this, we finished the first, looking at the first temple, Ahobilam. Would everyone follow? Yes? Okay. So now if you see, I don't know whether I gave you a very deep, elaborate explanation, but behind one temple also we have many things to notice, right? There are so many small small things that we see. So behind for us now, maybe all of you are listening to what I'm saying. I'm telling you something. Maybe I've made some notes of my own. The same thing I'm sharing, but it takes efforts for us. Or you can say, oh, I have to listen to so many temples. For me, oh, I have to speak about so many temples. But that also we feel that it is a task, right? 1 hour I have to log in and listen. For me, oh, 1 hour I have to log in and speak, right? But then just imagine the efforts that have been put, be it by the kings or be it by the lords or whatever it is, history and so on, in preserving these temples. And thousands of years back some constructions have been done, and there are a lot of stories behind all this, how all those shrines are constructed. So behind every temple or behind every structure that we see today, there is so much of efforts that have been put. The least that all of us can do is at least know about it. Many times it happens, most of us we do visit temples, right? Maybe as a family or whatever it is, we visit temples, but we are, even if people tell, we are not even interested much. Huh? Okay, it's a praise of Lord Narsimha, I know, I'll go, I'll worship and come back. It should not be done in that way. There is why some shrine has been built. Without reason nothing is done in this world. So therefore, knowing the stories behind everything, what is a legend, and believe me, if you tell all this to others, maybe we have a lot of complaints, right? The youngsters don't listen to us, young children are not interested and so on. You tell them proper stories, you tell them proper legends also, the child will definitely be interested, right? Then there is interest or no interest, that is on the other side. But we from our side, if you don't tell our own children, youngsters, if we don't share with them, it is, it's like we make our own decisions. No, nobody is interested in anything. Do you know? But in the first place, do we as individuals, do we know, right? We don't know. You just share, all of you, you can just try for yourself. You just share it with your own children. You see, at least out of 10, 1% at least they will be interested, right? Interested is, maybe it's not that we be very religious and they just start visiting temples and so on. But at least we know about our own culture. Oh, behind there is some temple. Now, if these 9 Narsimhas are constructed, behind these each and every 9 Narsimha, you have some story. It's not that okay, someone felt like constructing 9 Narsimhas. Narsimha, same Lord is constructed. No, everything has got a special significance. One is Ugra Narsimha, fierce form. One is under a people tree. One is under a Karanja tree. Like this, one is near the Pavana river that flows in. So 9 Narsimhas are there. There is a lot of significance behind each one. Okay, so next we continue with the next temple. Next temple is Alipiri. Now, Alipiri, basically, all of us, if you would have gone to, it is also located in Tirupati district in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Now, Alipiri, if you go to Tirupati, you would have seen this temple. So, one of the foothills of Tirumala actually is called Alipiri, and it is also called the gateway to Tirumala. So, the first place in order to visit Tirumala. Anyone has visited Alipiri? Yes. Yeah. So, if you go to, especially, you can say Tirupati, you will definitely visit Alipiri. Yeah. Right. So when you walk on those steps, that place is actually very pretty. It is a place like the foot of the 7 hills in Tirupati. So Alipiri Mandapam, you call it, and it is now. If you see, there are two ways to reach Tirumala, right? So one of the two ways is through this Alipiri Margam, and basically you had, there are two ways. One is the Alipiri, which is a longer route. I think it has close to more than 3,000 to 3,500 steps or so that you have to climb. I'm talking about going on foot. Whereas the Shrivari Met is, I think, about roughly little more than 2,000 steps. So usually what people will prefer is obviously going by the shorter route. But Alipiri is one of the two ways in to reaching Tirumala, and it is also therefore called as a gateway to Tirumala Venkateshwara temple. Now, earlier times, what used to happen is there was no other way than climbing on foot, that is, going on foot. So, pilgrims used to actually climb all the 7 hills, and they would visit from far away, and there it seems that people used to spend time there. Now, if you have to reach somewhere on foot, it takes more time, right? So, people used to halt there, they used to maybe cook and so on. Now, today, if you, I'm sorry, today if you visit any pilgrimage place also, we have a lot of facilities, right? You have a place to maybe live in, you have rooms, hotels, you have proper food, restaurants and so on. Maybe in the temple also you have the Annadana Seva. Such things are there. But earlier times, if you see, we didn't have much facility. So if you have to go from one place to another, that itself used to be a challenge. Where will I stay? What will I eat? And so on. So that's why maybe our own grandfathers also, if you relate, even if they used to go on train journeys, they used to carry everything from water, right? Few of us do that even today. But in general, now we know, okay, if I need something, maybe I'll get it in the train or from any railway station and so on. Because today, facilities are available. Today we are advanced. Even you sit and you can order something, you get it. So the point is, there were times wherein things were not available that easily, and that's the reason even when people used to go to Tirumala on this Alipari Margam, at that time they used to visit, they used to halt there, cook food, have and so on, and they used to take rest in between, and then they would start climbing the uh, steps. I think nowadays good facilities are there. You have proper roof and everything, lights. So all this is provided there. A very good place today. Now, here you have a temple which is called the Shrivari. It is Padala Mandapam or Padala Mandapam. I have a doubt here. I heard two or three people saying about this. They call it as Padala, some is calling Padala. Anyone knows what is the right name? Is it Padala Mandapam or Padala Mandapam? Padala, right? Padala, yeah. Leg, yeah. So that makes more sense. But I heard two or three people. I think Padalu is the name, right? In Telugu, Padalu is foot. Foot, yeah. So that is that. Then it should be Padala. So Shrivari Padala Mandapam. It actually means Padala Mandapam is that which refers to the foot or the feet. So here the Lord also is called as a Padala Venkateshwara Swami. And as per legends, it seems that Lord Venkateshwara, after the seva that takes place at Tirumala, I think it's called the Ekanta Seva. After that is done, it seems that he would come down to visit his consort Padmavati at Tiruchenur. Even today, if you see the same rituals that happen in Tirupati, same is done even in this place called Tiruchenur. So he used to come down, and how he used to come is through these Alipiri steps, and he would leave his footwear at this place, and that's how this name came to be known as Padala Mandapam. So the footsteps that you climb through the Marga of Alipiri, it is said to have walked by Lord Venkateshwara himself. That's the reason why many people walk through this path, because the Lord himself has walked here. And it is said that here we also see devotees when they go on this Tirumala Yatra, they will call the Srivari Paduka. They will carry along with them because it is said to be a representation of the footwear which is worn by Lord Venkateshwara himself. They carry it on their heads. Even today, if you see, if you go to some puja shops and so on, like the Giri trading stores, you get those padukas of Srivari. Even till date, you can see it is fully studded of gems. In many other stores and temples also you can see that. Shrines, especially in praise of Lord Vishnu and Venkateshwara, you can see those padukas which are full of gemstones. If you see, it is studded for worship, it is kept. So that is actually significant. It is the padukas of Lord Venkateshwara. And people, devotees carry this carry this footwear, and they go up while they climb these Alipiri steps. And there is also a temple for Lakshmi Narayana in this temple also. And you also have a shrine for goddess Andal. There is also another temple for Lord Ganesha in this complex. So devotees, they will offer prayers to all these places, Ganesha, Andal, Lakshmi Narayana, and so on, and before they start their journey towards Tirumala. Now, it seems that people who go on foot on the Tirupati Yatra, it is, I think, roughly a distance of about 11 to 12, 10 to 12 kilometers you can consider. On foot, when they go, it starts from Alipiri, that is called the Alipiri Mettu or something you call them, right? Alipiri Metlu. From there it starts, and as I told you, close to 3,500 steps or so, a distance of 10 to 12 kilometers. And on the way, you find four gopurams, tall temple towers, gopurams that are there. And it is a part of finally, as you go through this part, you can actually see those seven hills which are a part of those Sheshachalam hills. Now, the main festival that is celebrated here is all the Vaishnavite festivals like the Rathotsavam, Brahmotsavam, Ekadashi, Ratna Saptami. Mainly Vaikuntha Ekadashi is celebrated here. And here you also have devotees who come in large groups also, and they will sing songs and so on as they go about in pilgrimage. So maybe bhajans, such things are done when they pass about through this way. And here I think you have one more festival that is conducted. I don't know if anyone knows about it. Met, I think it is called Methlotsavam. Methlotsavam. It is Methlotsavam, I think it is wherein all these devotees they come and they sing different songs and all. So like a celebration wherein the Tirumala Yatra has started. To signify that mainly, I think it's called Methlotsavam. And you have group of devotees who come once in 3 4 months or so. They assemble together, and you have a lot of singing and things that are done there in praise of Lord Venkateshwara. So basically, if you see, Alipiri is a significant place, which is Adipiri Padala Mandapam or Alipiri Kshetram. It is at the place, foothills of the Tirupati. It's a Tirupati Yatra. So it is the first place where pilgrims do visit before they start their Tirumala Yatra. And I think from here the journey starts. Those who go on foot. Now, few more things. If you see, it is. I think it has got a lot of connectivity also. Even today, if you go to Tirupati, Tirupati is a place which is well managed. Right, you have a lot of facilities that are available and so on. So quite easy to go about. And here, I think you have a lot of places like you find different mandapams on the way, and you also see the Shankha, Chakra, and so on of the Lord when you pass about these hills. I have not gone, so I don't know, but what in whatever little I have read, I it has been mentioned that okay, has anyone gone to Tirupati through this Alipiri Marga? You maybe you can say better. Yes, no one, no. Okay, so basically it is said that when you go about this place, you have different gopurams, Shankha, Chakra of the Lord, and so on, which is kept on the way. So basically, a lot of temples and a lot of gopurams, lot of hills, and so on. So through the entire journey that takes place, it is a foothill, uh, and here on these foothills, you have, as I told you, you have the temple of Lakshmi Narayana, also Lakshmi Narasimha. A lot of inscriptions also are there, and the inscriptions here are present in Granthalipi. Granthalipi is nothing but Tamil language. So in that you have some inscriptions that are there. And you have Periya Gopuram, Big Gopuram. Like I told you, there are 4 Gopurams. So all this you can see while you go to Tirupati when you follow this Marga and go. So here basically devotees mainly while they take this trek to go up is the main significance is to collect the sandals that are kept, sandals or the footwear of the Lord when he comes down to meet Padmavati, his consort. So that is the main part of this place. And this story that I told you of Lord Venkateshwara coming to meet his consort Padmavati, it has been engraved, it seems, on the inscriptions on the walls in Tamil, Telugu, and Sanskrit languages. So that's how people could infer they read all this through these inscriptions, and they could make out that okay, how this Padala Mandapam is built, who built it. I think it is built in roughly in the 15th, 16th century. In so all this is you have a lot of study of those inscriptions or what we call as epigraphs. To all that, this has been studied, and this place has become famous. That is the Alipiri Margam. So many why I have purposely included it is maybe we don't consider it to be very popular or so, but it is one on the way to Tirupati. It's called the gateway to Tirupati. One or two small temples here, but a very significant place because mainly it is known for the place where the Padukas, Lord Venkateshwara used to come down to meet his consort Padmavati. So that he has come down through the steps. That's the reason you can see those steps here. Now maybe this is an old photo that you have on the screen. Nowadays I think you have those proper things that we the hold when you climb stairs also we hold, right? So proper holdings, everything is made today. So facilities are quite good. So Alipiri Margam mainly it is called the gateway to Tirumala because the Lord has climbed down these steps. So devotees also they consider it to be very significant. Okay. Next is the next temple that we start. Amararama is located in the Amaravati district of Andhra Pradesh again. Now, Amaravati, there are 2 Amaravatis. One is in Maharashtra, another is in Andhra Pradesh. So, we are looking at the temples of Andhra Pradesh. So, therefore, we have all temples that are there in Andhra Pradesh. So, location this is a different Amaravati. So, don't get confused. There are 2 Amaravatis in Bharat Desha. So, this Amararama temple is one of the Pancharama Kshetras. Panchabhuta Kshetras are different, Pancharama Kshetras are different. Okay, that's it. year is called Amareshwara or Amaralingeshwara. It refers to Lord Shiva. And here the consort or the goddess Parvati here has manifested herself as Chamundika. That too, not just Chamundika, it is Bala Chamundika. So you can consider like a child form of the goddess who has come here. Further here, the Shivalinga here is very tall. If you see in the picture also, the Shivalinga is very tall. That's the reason, like you have from side also, if you see, you have steps like a pedestal which has been created. So that's how the archakas and the priests they do puja, abhisheka, and so on at this temple. So the Shivalinga is very tall here. Further, the top of this legend, it seems that it has a red stain. I don't know whether you can see that very clearly in the photo. Maybe later you can see why that has been made. Is it seemed that when this Shivalinga was kept in this temple, it kept on growing continuously. It never stopped growing. So at that time, mainly a nail was hit on top of the Shivalinga, and when the nail went, it was dug into the linga. It seemed that blood started coming out from the Shivalinga. So this is how the linga that we considered was not just mere stone, also it actually had the presence of Lord Shiva, like we believe. So actually blood came out, it seems. That's what is a red stain which is there on top of the Shivalinga. Now you have the local kings like the Reddys and the Naidus and so on of uh, Andhra Pradesh who have contributed a lot to this temple. They have expanded, they have renovated this temple. And here, as per legendary stories also, it seems that the demon king Tarakasura, he defeated the gods and Shiva, and he got a boon from Lord Shiva that I should be very powerful, I should be able to kill all the, uh, I should be able to defeat the gods and so on. And at that time, what happened is all the gods, as usual, they went to Lord Shiva and they cried out, saying that you are blessed your devotee Tarakasura with great boons also, but he is causing trouble to us. He's defeating all the gods. So you help us. So at that time, Shiva he vowed, he took a pledge that I will kill all the demons. And thus, what happens is it seems that all the gods at that time, when Shiva was he took a vow to defeat the demons, all the gods they came and stayed here. It seems in this place of Amararama, and that's how it's called Amaravati, the place. Indra's kingdom is also Amaravati. So the place where gods live is Amaravati. That's how this district also is named as Amaravati, the place of the gods. Here, now amongst there are a category of 18 goddesses in all. Uh, Out of that, the fourth is considered to be Bala Chamundika. So just as we have the Navadurgas and so on, like this you have 18 different goddesses, and out of that, the fourth goddess is Bala Chamundika. Now, you have lot of inscriptions on the walls of this temple and a lot of reference to Sri Krishnadevaraya from the Vijayanagara emperor. Uh, Vijayanagara Empire, he has visited this temple, it seems, many times. And the main festival that is celebrated here is Mahashivaratri. So this temple, Mahashivaratri, is celebrated. You also have Navaratri festival that is celebrated here in praise of the goddess. You also have different Kalyana Utsavas that are celebrated. And one significant festival that is celebrated here is called the Magha Bahula Dashami. That is in the month of Magha, the Dashami that comes, that is celebrated here, Magha Dashami or Magha Bahula Dashami. Just as in the month of Magha, we celebrate the Janma of Ganesha. Apart from the Ganesh Chaturthi, you also have the uh, celebration of Magha Ganesh Chaturthi. That is on in the month of Magha, we celebrate Ganesha's birthday as per certain references. Similarly, in the month of Magha, the Dashami is celebrated in place of Lord Shiva, especially in this temple. And it seems that the gopuram that is there, it has been reconstructed many times by the temple because it had certain cracks also. So the gopuram of this temple mainly is, that is, this temple is known for its heavy gopuram also, it seems. So if you can see in the picture, you can see the gopuram that has been constructed. It is a recent construction. Okay, now little to tell you about Pancharama Kshetras. What exactly are these Pancharama Kshetras? Now, Pancharama Kshetras are five ancient temples which are you can say in, consecrated in place of Lord Shiva, and all of them are located in Andhra Pradesh. And it seems that according to legends also, why it is called Aramas, Pancharamas, because the lingams that are found at these temples, it seems that they are made from a single lingam. So from a single Shivalinga, five these different temples are made. So the story that goes is this Tarakasura was an Asura king and he had a lingam. And because he had the Shivalinga with him, nobody could defeat him because he was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. He used to worship Lord Shiva and he had this lingam. And therefore, Kartikeya, there was only one way that the gods they told we need Kartikeya, the Senapati, who who only could kill Tarakasura. So in the war that took place between Devas and Asuras, Kartikeya he used his Shakti to kill Tarakasura. And it seems that by this Shakti, what happened is Tarakasura's body was torn into pieces. But later, what happened is when the body was torn into pieces, still it got merged, and the body of Tarakasura again, that is Tarakasura became alive again. So like this, it kept on happening. Kartikeya used to cut off the body parts of Tarakasura, and again those body parts used to rejoin. So Kartikeya now he got, you can say, was about to give up. He was getting very angry. At that time, Vishnu informed that Vishnu came before Kartikeya and told him that as long as Tarakasura has got this lingam, nobody can defeat him at all. So that is the main reason of this victory. So what you have to do is the this lingam, you have to actually break that lingam. Only if you break that lingam, you will be able to break down or kill Tarakasura also. So then what happened is after you break this lingam, the different pieces of the lingam they will try to reunite themselves. So we have to prevent them just as Tarakasura's body parts were reuniting again. But then Vishnu tells that you have to ensure that these parts do not reunite again because if it reunites again Tarakasura will also reunite. So you do this and how, but now we cannot break lingams, right? We cannot break idols and so on. Do we break that? We don't do. So then Kartikeya says, what should I do then? So then at that time Vishnu advises that you break these pieces and you make sure that you install these different pieces as different temples altogether, build temples, and you go and worship there. So Kartikeya is said to have broken this lingam and said to have installed these five pieces of linga. He had used his Agneyastra. Agneyastra is a weapon by of fire, and he broke the lingam that was worn by Tarakasura. The lingam broke into five pieces, and chant of the syllable Om, Pranava mantra was heard, it seems, when this linga was broken. And there, Surya, he put in a lot of efforts in, he helped Kartikeya in constructing temples. And when the pieces were installed at different places, they did not try to unite themselves and they became famous as the Pancharama Kshetras. And all these five lingams, it seems that they have marks on them. Like if you see a scale like mark. Now, what exactly is a scale? That is, if you see the structure, it doesn't look like a normal lingam, right? It looks very straight. So, like a scale, because of it is actually they are divided into five. It's just one lingam. Out of that one lingam, you have five different parts that are there. So, to show that the structure of this Shivalinga is little different. And why this is one meaning. Another meaning is why it looks so big is because it has been formed through the power of the Agneyastra. Agneyastra, the weapon of Agni that has been used by Kartikeya in order to cut off these lingams. Now, what are these five places? One is we have seen Amararama and Amaravati, which we saw. It is on the banks of the Krishna river. And here it seems that the deity, that is Amaralingeshwara, is said to have worshipped by Lord Indra also. The goddess is Balachamundeshwari. You also have a temple of Lord Krishna in the form of Venugopala, having a flute in his hand in the campus of this temple. Now, we have just seen one, our main topic is Amararama, but we will also look at the other four Pancharama Kshetras. Second is Draksharama. Draksharama is in a place called Draksharamam, again in Andhra Pradesh. It seems now this temple out of the Pancharama Kshetras, this is the biggest of all of them. And Rama is said to have worshipped Shiva here, it seems. And you also have Surya and Indra who have worshipped. Here you also have the temple of Manikyambika. Manikyambika is one of the 18 Manikyambika Devi, one of the 18 Shakti Pithas. Out of that, you have this goddess who is also present here in the second Pancharama temple. Third is you have Somarama. Somarama is in the Bhimavaram temple. Here, the Lord is called Someshwara, and Chandra, just as the same Shaurya, Somnath Jyotirlinga, the first Jyotirlinga, Chandra is said to have believed. So basically, the moon god, he had lost his luster and shine. He goes and worships Lord Shiva in Somnath. That is how you have the Somnath Jyotirlinga. Similarly, he is said to have worshipped this Shiva also in Somarama. That's how Shiva Chandra is believed to have been freed from his sins. He got back his beauty, shine, and so on. That's how the deity is called as Someshwara. And it seems that this temple, very unique feature of this Somarama, the third out of the Pancharama temples, is it is believed that it changes its color, it seems. That is, at the time of Amavasya, it turns black, and the time of Purnima, it turns white. I don't know how far it is true because I haven't seen this, but it is what is the belief that you see. And you also have the Annapurna goddess who is worshipped here. Next is the four is called Kshirarama. Now, here what happened is Kshira Ramalingeshwara, that is a deity. Lord Shiva is called by this name. And here was a place where Sudarshana Chakra was offered to Lord Vishnu, it seems. And here, this Kshira Ramalingeshwara, by worshipping this deity here, a sage, a lot of sages, they have received boons, milk or so from Shiva, it seems, as prasada. That's how the name comes as Kshira. Kshira Rama Lingeshwara. And Kshira is milk. Parvati is a goddess here who is worshipped along with Lord Shiva. And the last is Kumararama. Kumararama. Now, this Kshirarama temple is located in Pallakul, that is the district, and Kumararama is in Samalkota. The Lord is called Kumara Bhimeshwara temple, and it's a very old temple. And here Kartikeya himself is said to have installed this lingam here. That's how it is called as Kumararama. And the goddess here is Bala Tripura Sundari. Bala Tripura Sundari is the consort of the Lord. So all these five temples are located in the state of Andhra Pradesh. You have Indra, Surya, Chandra, Vishnu, and Kartikeya. The Kshira Rama temple is said to have consecrated or built by Vishnu only because he has installed it because he got the Sudarshana Chakra here. So this is the significance of the Pancharama Pancharama Kshetras in praise of Lord Shiva. So Panchabhuta Kshetras are different. Pancharama Kshetras are different, which is located only in the state of Andhra Pradesh. First one, Amararama, the one which we are looking at now. Yeah. Okay. So with this, we will stop here. I know there are 5 more minutes, but if we start with one temple, we will not be able to complete it. So we'll stop here. We looked at three: Ahobilam, Alipiri, and Amararama, and also we saw about the Pancharama Kshetras.